it doesn't seem like much was missed because SMG is still stomping Crew. And while we didn't get to see the last couple of rounds, I have a hunch that it was a lot of the same.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Inari already dropping. We're in a 5v4. This is best case scenario for Crew. Not a single player on site to hold them off, but the flood is already coming, and we know SMG with these fast floods and how strong they are.
Alexi does have the ult to work with. How fast and how decisive are they going to be on this? Kunir's threatened. She's tapped, and they're cover from Rami, but it's just Kunir left on site. That's going to be a lot to hold on her own. Rami playing over there. Kunir getting the first, not able to get the second, but there she was. Almost had the shot, but Kahibi lands 3, and that's another round for SMG.
Oh my goodness. If you are Crew right now, you have a huge mental obstacle to get past because this is crazy. 11-0, Doug. Not even a single round on the board. They need this last round in halftime so that they can at least feel that they're coming back into the game because, man, 11-0 is so rough.
I'm gonna keep it a buck with you.
Yeah.
I don't think they're thinking about getting back in this game. I'm gonna keep it honest with you. I'm gonna keep it a buck. You saw? Did you just see the eye roll in that man's face? He's done. They're thinking bye.
No, hear me out. This is a warm-up scrim.
This is a warm-up scrim.
You know, like Crew's just warming up.
Yeah.
They're getting their comms ready. You know, so far, I was gonna say no technical difficulties. Technical, but I just cursed it. So.
Right. Yeah. None. I will say this: for SMG, 4 duelists, 1 duelist, 2 duelists, whatever. It really seems like Lotus is their playground. They're very confident in what they want to do, and they're executing it beautifully.
Yeah, Crew finally getting some form of space on that B site. Popping the ult Inari, and she gets immediately shut down by Shies. They're fully aware of these flanks now. This is a different Crew in this round.
Trying to avoid the 013 club. The pit aggressive, and it's going to push them upside. They haven't cleared heaven, though. And you do have Michaela who's playing up there. She's going to drop a Lexi. Pit's still in play, though. As Kami taking some damage and trying to find some room to work with and push out, but Crew doing such a good job of playing off site, of forcing SMG to come their way if they want to try to establish some control and get the defuse. Michaela on the spam. Shiraji's, oh, she didn't even get half. Kahibi has so much to do here, not a ton of time to do it. Crew get theirs. They got theirs.
They got theirs, and now you said they're not thinking about coming back. I think they're thinking about coming back. The comeback is real. Don't look at me like that.
You don't believe that. Stop.
Listen, I am a huge SMG fan, but Crew, they can do it.
Maybe. We'll see what the death thinks. Yinsu, take it away.
Thank you very much, Doug and Athena. 11-1, that is a dream start. Oh, it's always Lotus, it feels like. But the thing is, the Sapphire SMG, not only were they good in the aim mechanics department, they had some crazy good reads and just amazing ideas.
Yeah, of course. I actually wanted to highlight round 6 here. And this is following 5 really, really aggressive rounds. And so they essentially conditioned Crew to play incredibly passive. And we look here like, look at, I do observing. So I know where people, I stare at the radar a lot. No one sits there ever. They are terrified to make any moves. So they're playing really, really passive because they obviously think there's going to be a push. But instead, they have a trap play set up here. So as you can see, B is all ready to go. We've got the paranoia ready. Kahabi's taking the angle. Kahabi does drop here, but then they try to take a little aggression. They fall back. And so this is Crew's time to then take a move over to A. However, they have not forced that raise nade out. And so you've got to think, okay, they're ready for you. So at this point, essentially there's a trap play set up with the C's and nade, and it was just perfect. You don't really see 2 trap plays in 1 round, but perfect execution from SMG.
Absolutely.
Condition the team and then force them to play incredibly passive.
And just showing layers to their game, like just to have 2 trap plays in a single round is just absurd. And it's all because that paranoia forced the people that were walking up B to be backed up. The Omen smoke comes out to delay the B push even further, and they're already playing retake on C. They already were okay with that from the start of the round. So they're funneling them towards A or C where they're playing retake, and it just runs straight into that trap, and it was just beautiful. What a beautiful round from Team Schmieg, and they are going absolutely nuclear right now. This is almost a 13-0.
Yeah,
honestly.
what? It's not going to be a 13-0. I'm with Myrna here. We've seen an 11-3 comeback in São Paulo before. I believe in the 11-1.
I would have just stood here.
11-1 in favor of SMG. The second half of Lotus now up for grabs. And for Crew, you know, we often talk about mountains that you have to climb and crazy comebacks and digging yourself out of holes. You know, this has to be the biggest hole I think I've ever seen, or the tallest mountain you're going to have to climb to get back into this thing. Again, given what some of the body language look like, Athena, I imagine they're just thinking bind at this point.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, this is SMG's map pick, so at the end of the day, not a huge thing lost because you still have 2 more maps, right? So Crew can come back into it. Next map is bind, they can pick it, but this pistol, I mean, if they win this, it might be something to hold on to, but again, SMG just opting for that full A hit.
Yeah, I mean, there's a long road to believing, and it seems like that road is paved with poor intentions if you're SMG, because Crew is just getting rolled over again. They're not able to hold the site. They get overwhelmed by SMG's aggression. That 5-man hit towards A proved to be too much.
Yep, 4v3. This is going to be a hard retake. I mean, we still have nades, no smokes, no paranoia. It's going to be a lot of walking up together, but Crew getting the trade on Alexi.
1 enemy remaining.
What?
Goodness.
How does that happen? She's gonna get both.
Okay.
Of course she's gonna get both. I mean, when you're feeling it, you're feeling it. And when things are going your way, like they are for SMGs, it seems like nothing goes wrong. 2 couple kills there at the end that she never even saw. Yeah. SMG on map point. This will be over very soon.
It looks like nothing is standing in the way between SMG and winning this map. Not even a concrete wall.
Yeah, nothing. I did. That was very nicely done.
But yeah, again, a really great execute from SMG. Crew trying their hardest to hold on to what is left, but dropping, unfortunately. This is looking really rough now. 12-1. Both teams buying, of course, seeing what we have in stock. We have a judge on Inari, which I love to see. So hopefully a super fast hit towards C. And super fast it is. Inari's on site, but Shy is already with the first kill. Absolutely denying that. Lexi immediately trading that out. And now the site is theirs. SMG planning the spike.
What else do they have to work with here? We've seen that Bucky a couple of times. Michaela has it. Just now rotating over to the site. Once again, they've done such a good job, SMG have of playing off. You've got Shirazi, who's really back in spawn at this point, making sure that there's no late flank or anything like that. And there's so much for Crew to get through here if they want to keep this map up, if they want to prolong Lotus. But can they pull it off? Alexi will fall, and it seems like they're converting things, so Ivy's going to have to do this on her own. Feeling some of the pressure, feeling herself getting surrounded. Time is of the essence. Oh my goodness, Khalid is going to get it. That was so close. I thought she was going to do it.
My God, and if anyone could have done it, it is Kohibi. I mean, she's been playing crazy this game, and so far, my gosh. Crew, they're back. They're back. That's going to feel so refreshing to win that round and absolutely shut down SMG's fast take, because at the end of the day, shutting that down means that they're not going to be able to go as fast anymore with as much confidence, ready for these retakes, even though they're man down. And SMG almost closing this round out, but Crew, Khalida, the most stable, the most reliable on the team, showing us why she can clutch it out.
I mean, desperately needed. And now an opportunity for them to put on another, given the gun advantage that they have. SMG with just Sheriffs, and a classic for Kamiyu. Certainly not what you're wanting to do here. And, you know, honestly, for Crew, the approach does feel a little similar to what SMG was doing to them. Maybe not to the same degree, maybe not to the same extremity, but they have not just fought for A-main control, they've taken the space too.
Yep, full A-main control, and that's going to be so much information. We have our Killjoy setup on site already, so a lot of delay coming in, but maybe this information should be used a lot faster, Crew, with a rotate over towards that C site. But they're going to get the flash and going to get the info that Viper's there, so it's going to be delayed for a lot longer than they thought.
There.
You've got the nade C's combo, the paranoia. They've done a decent job of drawing rotations. If their intent was to manipulate things, they've done so, but no, it seems like they do an NC after all. Alexi and Inari pushing forward into the smoke, and you can look at how concerned they are. Look at how far back they're playing. They know that there's something up here. They know that there are antics that are waiting on the other side.
Yep, and those 2 kills, 3 kills going really well for Crew. They were so patient. They knew to wait for the rotates. And this is looking like a lot more confident, a lot more stronger Crew. Shirazi with a nice shot onto Romy, but it's not enough because Crew just showing that they can play this defensive side really, really well. I mean, they had KJ playing on that C site, and she delayed for so long that her team was able to rotate, and she punished them for trying to push into spawn. I mean, that's a best case scenario for when you're playing retake.
For sure, for sure. You really get everything you could possibly ask for. So Crew get on to their third. SMG now with weapons with a massive runway. If they want to close this thing out, they're going to have an abundance of opportunities to do so.
Yep, the fade online for Alexi as well as Kalita with her cabbages. So we'll see what funky strat they're trying to do. It's looking like there's going to be a lot towards A, and this is going to be a war zone because both these teams are trying to fight for the same in control.
That's exactly what they're going to do. You're absolutely right. You see the paranoia out. Try to clear some space. You do have Rami who's tucked just on the other side of the wall. Nothing really to give the position away. They're going to fight on the other side of it, off of the swing, off of the flash, and Aries there to greet. 2 kills come through. Nightfall used. It's just Kinnear who's playing, and she's going to get chased down by the Prowler. Has to run away. Tuck tail, give the space back up, and SMG gladly fill him behind it.
Spike planted.
They've gotten it down to a 3v2. We've seen what feels like far too many 2v4s this tournament. This would be another if Crew can somehow pull this off. They have a lot to do. Shies has 5 HP. I can talk about living a borrowed life. There's just nothing here. But they're going to do their damnedest. Kinnear's the first to fall, and of course, it's the most fragile that's left. Shies gets dropped. 13-3 absolute dominance in favor of SMG. Not concerned about the fact that they're facing elimination. Not concerned that they only ran 1 duelist. The results are the same.
I mean, the crazy part about SMG is it doesn't matter who is playing what role, who is playing duelist. All of them can play duelist, and Mary can play sentinel. They all performed, and they all did so well.
1-0 lead in favor of SMG. Elimination on the line for Crew. Bind on the other side. We'll see you guys when we come back.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Already, they have been here, they have been resilient, but for Team SMG, they just lost, so they got to dig a little bit deeper.
They do have to dig deeper, but they lost against the reigning world champions, so they still kept it really close. They've got it at least feeling good about themselves to know that they have it in them to win this match.
And one thing I gotta ask off the bat, baby, they picked Lotus!
Yeah. Are we going to see some crazy 4 duelist shenanigans? I actually don't think that's going to be the case this time, but that leaves question marks for Crew. What comp are they going to play? Because even without the 4 duelist comp, SMG has played a double duelist comp with Arena on that map before. They've played a standard comp with a Fade before, like double controller. So what are they going to bring out? And it's my understanding that Crew just plays a standard comp on this map.
Yeah, at the very least, it forces Crew to have to prepare for all these extra scenarios. They're probably not going to do the 4 duelists again, but it forces you to say, shoot, you know, I'm going to have to plan for all of these scenarios. And we do know, as you said, SMG mixes it up a lot on this map.
Honestly, I can't believe you guys are saying that because I I want the 4 jewelers.
I mean, I want it,
Honestly,
yeah.
not just for my bingo, I promise. It's not just for that. But they've managed to win it on the 4 jewelers, and I like the point that you made there, Sapphire, because if you are crew and you're looking at that, even if you don't believe that could happen, you got to still think about the possibility. You got to still maybe try and prep a little bit before you go in there, because we did see what happens when you don't know how to play against that comp.
Yeah, it was obviously a disaster for EG. The players admitted that like we were nervous, we didn't know how to prep for this. So it does now mean that crew had to spend all this extra time and the little time you have after just playing last night to prepare for all these scenarios.
Yeah, and poor EG, right? Like, this is your first match on the LAN, and you have to play against a 4 duelist comp, and they're just doming you every chance they get. It was a brutal watch, but I don't think it's gonna happen. I would like to see a double duelist out of them. I think they thrive off of playing a lot of duelist characters, and they have the individual skill to just bully teams.
And then, as we saw in the second map, for crew to pick Bind, that's also kind of a bold choice, knowing that SMG kind of smashed G2 on it. So it's a bold choice, but crew, as Khalid said, they're going to play their own game.
Yeah, and of course, all the way through the map vetoes as well. I believe crew will be starting on the attacking side of every single map. Let's have a look here at the Prime Gaming agent select. We won't get
Almost
the 4 jewelers.
Almost a mirror.
Yeah.
So you have like the more EU approach coming from SMG with the fade here, and on the other side of crew, you have like just the stable Sky. And both these comps are good. They're both played very similarly. Just look out for more, fade alt plays. That's really good to bait out rotations and not let people know where you're going. Maybe you pair it with an Omen ult behind them, behind the enemy team when you ult, and then out of the Sky, just consistent information and pop flash plays that you can do.
Yeah, and as Khalida said, like they're going to be pretty aggressive, so you can see a lot of that with that Sky Rays combo.
Well, no 4 jewelers this time, but we're going to run it back with your casters, though. Let's get things started and send it over to Doug and Athena. What do you make of this?
Thank you so much, Insu. I'm really freaking excited. Athena, yeah, we don't have the quadruple duelist comp, but I think going back to what's more standard with elimination on the line is anything you could possibly ask for.
Yeah, I mean, when I see this comp, I'm like, dang, I really wanted that duelist comp. But yeah, I mean, something really interesting. They don't have any flashes on the SMG side. They do have that paranoia, on Omen. So entering for an area is going to be really interesting. There's going to have to be a lot more util to be able to clear that site and get that space open for her. But again, SMG versus crew. We're on that SMG train this week so far.
Kahibi's already pushing off of her turret, and she's going to find 3 kills? I mean, that was snappy. That was decisive. And yeah, Shirazi was there, but a massive start for the defensive side.
Who had the pistol ace on their bingo card?
Yeah, was that one of the boxes? Was that one of the boxes?
One enemy
might
remaining.
play out. It's stolen. Either way, an excellent start for SMG. It's interesting too. That hurt a little bit. I really like how they played that though, because I mean, given the turret was set up right off the door, you had Shirazi who was peeking above it, and then Kahibi went a little bit wider back behind Mound. You're in a pistol round in particular. You're fighting three different people in that instance.
Yeah, I mean, SMG already starting off strong. They're setting up crossfires, setting up trap plays. They're dodging that Sky flash and ready to peek off of each other. This is the kind of team play that SMG has been showing us all tournament long. And I think crew needs to really warm up and get used to this, because I don't think we're not going to see more of that. We're going to see so much of that coming out from SMG.
It's the same look. The turret, the one way, but there's more gun behind it.
Goodness.
And it seems like it's going to be a bit of the same result. They're pushing aggressively towards C. They're pushing aggressively on A main as well. This is very decisive. And the thing is, SMG are doing such a good job of funneling and fighting on the extremities, knowing that there's the only other place you can really go is B, and that's where the Killjoy setup is.
Yeah, such a good extremities push. I mean, they knew that they were on those pistol buys, and SMG was not scared, so they're going to come back to this B main retake. They're aware that these two players have taken space because they've cleared everything from that B main entrance. And now Shirazi getting her third, and Inari facing Kunir, but Shirazi actually spamming through the smoke for the fourth. What a great round overall. SMG just showing that they're going to set the pace for this game already, Doug. They're like, we are not scared. We're going to keep fighting and doing these trap plays and hope that you guys just run into them.
Well, honestly, we almost have to go back a little bit further, because you and I were talking about it prior to the show coming to us. It felt like SMG won like during the vetoes.
Yeah.
Right? It's very clear, at least to me, given how the maps played out, that they want to do this very aggressively. They're going to do this with confidence, and you're seeing that play out in the first couple of rounds as well.
Yeah, picking Team A is definitely a Giga Chad move, and I think SMG showed that. And I think they got the sides that they all wanted, and now Crew coming back to the C. I want to see if they can adapt their strat. They are just going to farm orbs on Raze, and they're going to know that they're not playing that aggressive C setup, but they're actually playing aggressive towards A. The roll me lurk was way too much.
A tap of the door to threat a push B, but Crew are kind of left wondering where they go with this. They've lost the roamer that was A, as you mentioned. The only real option is to go C here. Wisely for SMG, they take a small step back, give some of that space up, knowing that they could fight with numbers as the round goes on. Oh, Michaela's getting really aggressive here. It doesn't catch anything. Are you expecting his position up in the ledge? The first falls, the second does too. Yeah, Kinnear was able to get one, but that's all it was. An upgrade of the weapon as Shirazi continues to farm. Oh, 4 on the round.
That's the second 4K in a row for Shirazi, just coming out with a bang. I mean, Crew had such a good reaction. They managed to take that C. They knew as soon as they lost their Viper towards A that the lurk was not possible. They had no more map space. They had to funnel into C, and SMG just knew that that's exactly what they're going to do. Such a good round from SMG. Again, they convert that bonus round for themselves, and Crew on another save. The Viper ult on Shirazi. I don't think she's going to use it this round, but just a standard A fight setup. We're going to see the same aggression from that A main for SMG.
Yeah, I mean, a freaking ridiculous start. And it's been quiet for Kamiyu. She hasn't really had to do anything. Her teammates have been farming everything else, but it seems like there's going to be action here finally. Crew understanding they're going to have to fight into some of this aggression, and Kamiyu lights up the kill feed. She's on the board. 3 kills on the round. And this has the potential, Athena, getting out of hand very quickly.
Yeah, I mean, Crew so obviously not ready for this aggressive SMG that we're seeing, and this is the SMG that we saw on the first day that we really, really liked. And now, a 4-0 lead for SMG. I mean, Crew really needs to bring this back. That was such a bloodbath. Look at the amount of util used from both of these teams. The paranoia, Kamiyu just getting the spray downs down. And again, just further converting that round by pushing and showing dominance. 4-0, Doug. That is tough.
Yeah, this is a brutal start. They're going to have an opportunity to punch back here. Now they have weapons, they have armor, all the things that you need to stop some of this bleeding early on and cauterize the wounds that have been left by this aggressive full schmeeg. Baby Bay's grinning from ear to ear on the desk right now with how well they've played this. I mean, it's been decisive, it's been aggressive, it's been in their faces, and Crew haven't known what to do with it.
Yeah, and SMG showing their aggression on the A main with just the util, but actually stacking 3 players towards that C. And Crew has no idea, but Crew maybe is actually finding the hole in their defenses by grouping up towards that B main and getting that space.
Yeah, I don't know that this is really all that much gathered, though, to be honest. I think if you end up B, you've lost extremities on both sides, and that's what SMG have been doing, right? Very similar to the pistol. B is a tough way to go, but they're going to try to tap the door and take the fight towards C, towards Mound. The spike is out of reach, though. They don't have the spike. They've lost the spike. It's back in spawn. There's nobody there. Showstopper used, and Eri trying to drop another. Succeeds in doing so. Michaela no longer around. Khalid and Rami, the only 2 left. A massive blunder for the attacking side. Maybe they can stabilize this. Maybe they can equalize and win a 2v4, but
30 seconds left.
What a mess.
That was so messy. It looked really good for a second, like they were about to break SMG's setup by crunching through that door. But again, the firepower, Khalida and Romy bringing the round back. That is not what I expected at all.
This was a 2v4. 13 seconds left. Surely Kamiyu just plays it back, right? I don't know there's enough time for you to run, grab the spike, and then plant. She's just got to stay alive. Oh, she takes the fight. That was bold. That was gutsy. That was risky. She takes them both and gets a Red Bull clutch.
She does not need to run. I'm sorry, Kamiyu. I didn't mean it.
Yeah, forget it. You take the fights. Yeah, take it.
Fine.
All you.
All good.
That round, the roller coaster of emotions that we just went through was mad.
That was actually crazy. I mean, the C crunch looked so good for a second, and then it looked so bad, and then it looked so good again. I mean, Inari popping that Raze Ice Rocket
remaining.
to solidify a kill, and then
Spike
Camille
down,
with this
C.
beautiful double kill. Again, showing their confidence. And this team is literally the embodiment of confidence that we've been seeing. Like, this is the SMG that we saw in that with the 4 duelist comp.
Yeah.
Like, they don't care. They're playing the exact same
Yeah, they
way,
really are.
but with the meta comp.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah, I mean, the only thing that's really changed is the agents. Their approach to the game has been the same. Where they're applying pressure, when they're applying pressure, the fact that they're so hell-bent on fighting up on the defensive side just continues to be a part of the DNA. This is a very impressive start, and I think the timeout right now makes sense for Crew. Yeah, it's early, but you've seen a couple of very large blunders. Yeah. You've seen how SMG want to play this. This one makes a lot of sense here.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like grouping up at this point for Crew is going to be super important for them, because what are they going to do when both extremities have been pushed? Grouping up B is a good idea, but they have to push all the way through. They have to start setting up for these splits, setting up for these crunches. They need to start breaking that baby door. A-Link, sorry, I know people don't call it that. Baby door. They need to push into that heaven on B. They need to push C-Link. They need to get this space and take that away from them. And hopefully that's what they're going to start trying to poke and prod towards, because SMG actually, they switched up their setup.
Yeah, there's no heavy aggression towards the extremities right now. They've left C entirely open just to Killjoy util. But they want to lane B, which makes sense given how Crew have tried circumventing the defensive aggression. We're in for a bit of a stalemate.
Both teams just chilling, holding, trying to see where the aggression is at. SMG actually doing a really good job of not overusing utility and telling them where their setup is, just so that they can set up for this B trap. This is going to be such a good bait. Off contact, the paranoia comes in. But the first kill going to Kalita means this trap is absolutely demolished already.
Yeah, you can tell what the idea was,
yeah,
for sure, but it just doesn't really come to fruition. Kahibi gets destroyed. And Crew finally, at least early, having some progress. That nade is going to hurt. Oh, there's a seed set up too. An Airy getting one. Alexi with the spam on the other.
One enemy
yeah,
remaining.
you found some success in some breathing room B. Sure, you get past the first trap, but with SMG, there's a second. There's a third. There are layers to how they're playing this out.
30 seconds left.
That was so... I thought that the early round was so good in getting that pick and forcing SMG to do something. But Crew, they have numbers. They need to overuse this utility to make sure that they don't lose numbers retaking back that aiming. They know they could have been aggressive. They didn't have anyone holding it at the beginning. And this trap, SMG so patient, just holding the whole time. I mean, they read them like a book. They knew that they were going to fall off of B and go back into something after seeing the paranoia come out. But again, Crew, you really need to overuse that utility if you want to retake that space. I mean, SMG went all up in that space so far.
Oh, it's only getting worse. Look at an Airy so far up already. It was a setup off of the paranoia from Camille to take that space away, and that's exactly what they've done. Just Sheriffs and then a Bulldog in the hands of Shy as Rami no longer around. And you have a pit on C that you're going to have to deal with too. This has got to feel really suffocating if you're Crew, right? Like mentally, you realize
any momentum going into this next map, and that's what I'm worried about. Now, the good thing is they do get to start on that attacking side, and they can set the pace, but at the same time, with how SMG played against G2 with their defense aggression, this might be a repeat of Lotus, because we saw how that defense aggression was conditioning future plays in the halves and everything like that.
Yeah, we're gonna see. Just imagine the players are backed up all the way to attacker spawn and have to wait back there because of the aggression. Yeah, I mean, SMG just does such a wonderful job of like conditioning their players so that they have to plan for everything. And so Crew, while Kalita said they want to play 3 times as aggressive, that certainly was not the case. SMG didn't even give them that opportunity to do so.
I do want to look towards the veteran players, though, because we did mention, you know, when G2 were struggling against SMG on the brink of a possible defeat on Split, we were looking at players like Petra, like Mimi, the veterans that have been doing this and years and years. You have some of those on Crew, Sapphire. You have those players that can pull them out of a bad spot.
Kinnear is as OG as they come. She's been competing on LANs for as long as I can remember, and so these are the players that you need to step up, as well as players like Romy. They need to lead the players, get them in a better mindset. Like, it's not over yet. You still have 2 more maps. That was the other team's maps. It off and focus on what you do best.
Yeah, and to be fair, this attacking side of Bind was the side in which Crew did start making comeback in that series against BBL, and they looked really, really good on it, and even so. And they actually did a good job of punishing the aggression of BBL on this map, so I think that they can emulate that against Team SMG, and they need to do that.
Yeah, and what we saw from Crew yesterday is like they really good at the second round as well as the bonus round. In this first map, they were only able to get at that in the second half, and that's great. They started that very, very small comeback, but we need that from them out of the gate. They're really good on thrifties. They're really good on pistol rounds. They're going to need that on Bind to push it to map 3.
Well, the thing is, though, SMG, they are very, very confident. And let's hear from their IGL Kohibi on just how confident they are in this matchup.
G2 was like the previous champions, and they played really well, but also we were like in a bad mental state, so we weren't really prepared for it, but we will do better in the future. I kind of feel a bit sad, but I guess it was a learning lesson for us, so it's all good. Like, we learned a lot from it, so I'm grateful for that, and we're gonna work harder. Yeah, I feel the biggest takeaway is to just be calm. Even when you're losing, you have to be calm, you have to do your job, and just trust all of your teammates, and everything will be fine.
The Viper has her orb to deny the B main push. Like, there's just so much against her right now. They're playing this crossfire, peek off me in spawn.
They're both so weak. They're both so weak. That's the first to fall. The second does too.
We really are like a family because we do everything together and we do trust each other. We are really close together outside of the game, so I feel just don't look at it as it's the last game if you lose. Like, it's not the lower bracket, but just play the game as how you will in the scrim and in the tournament. Like, just try your best and everything will be okay.
I mean, Kohibi, she does everything. She IGLs. She sometimes even trash talks, apparently. But she also coaches. She is a player coach. She comes out with a lot of the ideas. She's kind of doing every single job she possibly can on the team, which I think makes it incredibly impressive when her individual performance doesn't suffer.
Yeah, I love like how deep her strat book is in that case. Like, can you just think of it? Like, she's dreaming up these strats probably every day, not just as the in-game IGL, but also like as the team's coach. And so along with Cobalt, like they've cooked up something like really unique on this team.
Yeah, it's a lot of pressure to have being like a player coach, but if it works and when it does work and you see it's working, it feels really good at the same time. It feels really rewarding. So the fact that they're actually just dominating in this fashion right now and honestly taking world champions to a map 3, it's got to mean a lot for the likes of an IGL like this who's also able to put up numbers.
Yeah, the thing is, it's not over. We have seen teams that win map 1, they are in a great spot, and then things don't go their way. They start to crumble because, Baby Bay, you have to keep mentally resilient throughout the entire series, not just for one map.
Yeah, exactly, and we saw that with Crew almost losing a set to EDG yesterday. Thank God they won in overtime, but if you're not on top of your game, even if you're up a map or whatever, there is a chance you're gonna get upset and you're gonna lose. That's something Shopify has done really well, is Effie's has ingrained into their players, like, hey, like, I know we won the first map, I don't care what the score was, play like it's 0-0, and like you're 0-0 in the series as well, just do your thing.
Yeah, and you know, just watching the team here, like, it looks like they went away. They're coming back. I saw some smiles there from Shies. Like, I think they're in the zone. You know, Kinnear is laughing again. So, you know, hopefully they just chalk this up of like, hey, we're just not gonna win that one. Like, GG go next, and let's close it out of the next 2.
Yeah, and let's talk about their comps as well, because we've seen both of them play Bind already. It's Crew that's gonna go on the Fade Raise for this map, and SMG coming out with a Chamber. So how much does that change, you know, their playstyle, their game plan of what we've seen already?
Yeah, so the benefit of having the fade raise comp, the double initiator comp, is that your sight hits on attack, and we saw it against BBL, they are so strong when the utility is all flooding in and it's correct. It's really hard to play these aggro spots against this comp because of the multiple dogs that they have, the scan, the flash, and this is really good against the chamber that Team SMG has been playing because you're able to not get picked off early. You have an answer for almost every angle to take.
Well, let's take a look at the Prime Gaming agent select now and see if we are going to get, you know, those discrepancies of the chamber on the side of SMG and then the Raze Fade, Sapphire. It's the same comps.
Yeah, it's the same comps. This is what we expected. This is where both teams played quite well on it the last couple of days. So, you know, what I'm interested here is obviously we saw SMG play very, very aggressive. So I imagine even on defense, they're going to be using Raze on an area and a Sky to make aggressive plays. And on the other side of the map, you're probably going to see the same from Chamber as well, and then you can quickly TP back.
And my question is how is SMG going to deal with the slow playstyle and all the utility that crew has? Or are they just going to peek everything, like peek the showers angle every single round and just dominate G2? Or dominate crew how they dominated G2?
Yeah.
And is crew going to be aware of the flanks coming out of SMG?
I can't wait. I cannot wait to find out and send this back into game with your casters, Doug and Athena. Take it away.
Thank you so much, Incy. Yeah, Athena, the benefit is she doesn't have to wait. She says she can't wait. Good news. You don't have to. We're getting back into the action. Again, the second map, elimination on the line. We talked a lot about comps. Wait, give me your thoughts on this chamber. What do you think?
I mean, I really agree with what Baby Base said on the desk, where the double initiators is going to be like a slow-paced, bait-out stuff play style, whereas SMG has this chamber, this aggressive and take lines sort of play style, where you have to play for those picks, especially against these initiator comps. But I think it'll be easier for SMG to bait out the util that crew has on their side, because chamber walking up, TPing off, that's so much stuff that they can use in order to bait. So I think both these teams right now looking pretty balanced, and I think picking comps that suit their playstyle the most.
Yeah. We'll see how it plays out. A quiet start for the attacking side, who are still trying to somehow mentally recover from the shellacking that took place on Lotus. Perhaps a new map, change of scenery could be what they need. Off of the flash to satchel forward, out from Michaela, and they're going to funnel in right behind it. But SMG have members in the smokes. They're all here on site. They're going to be able to take this fight. Kahibi's able to get the first. Still causing problems. You got this flank that's coming in from spawn. Yeah, you got some of the site, but you've lost everything else. Fortunately for them, the TP is going to allow them to flip the map, head over towards B, but it's a foot race.
Yep, 2v4, so hard against this double flank that's already coming in. Two players on either side, but we do see a battle. 2v2 within that spawn area. Crew versus SMG.
Just the smoke keeping these duos apart as it dissipates. The gunfire erupts, and it goes tit for tat in favor of crew. Numbers their way. However, Shies is left alone, 57 HP, and yeah, you dealt with the two that were in your lap. You have to deal with the other two that are on the flank. Alexi's left alone. She's got to win the fight, and she does. That was way too close for comfort.
I mean, what an explosive round. That was so back and forth. Both these teams doing so well in the amount of space that they had. Crew actually a lot faster and thinking on their feet with how they want to play the round. I mean, taking back sight, pushing through with that util, and then pushing through spot. They knew they had to capitalize on numbers. It was really well played. But unfortunately, Alexi is there to just end that round for them and get the defuse. Both teams looking really promising so far on Bind. And now we actually have Inari playing with that judge. And this is what I'm excited about, because I love the judge on Inari. And she's going to be holding that towards short. But 4 players of crew outside of long. Kunir gets 1.
An excellent start. Alexi no longer around. You still have Kahibi, who's around to cause some problems with the Headhunter bullets. 3 left. You see the dog trampling forward, trying to apply some pressure onto that chamber. Kahibi taking a little bit of a step back, expecting the aggression. That shot lands right between the eyes.
My gosh, a clear confidence on Kahibi to take that peek. And now this double senti hold towards B. It is going to delay for so long, to the point where these players have to come up with a really good plan on crew in order to execute. They don't have the eye. They still have a flashes. No more dogs. But they do have all 3 smokes, so a full execute here would be good enough. They're just holding, chilling, making sure that Maybe they rotate, maybe they try to get some info, but no. Double Senti holding the site down.
2 kills found for the duelist.
There.
They're going to have full access of B, and this time it's a bit of a different story here. They do have a Stinger, or excuse me, a Spectre and a Bulldog to fight back with. But the tale of the tournament has been these 2v4s, and maybe SMG can do it again. They've got the satchels, they've got a nade, you've got just so many things to deal with, and Eric getting the first Michaela 4 on the round as they tie us up early.
That second round win being so huge for Crew. This is already a momentum turner for this team because now whatever happened in last map seems to be gone from their heads. This execute looking great. SMG not taking the time to figure out how they want to play the double Sentis on site. They wanted to play for site, but they didn't have any more gas left on that Viper, and the Chamber actually giving up the line, just taking jiggle peeks. That's not how you want to be playing, especially against Sheriffs, and especially against Michaela just exploding with her Spectre.
Just pistols for the defensive side. A little bit of thinking twice on who that orb is going to go towards. Was an Airy who walks away with the resource, and Shy's feeling some of that pressure. Again, very reminiscent of what we saw in Lotus. A lot of denial of space early, a lot of taking that away is SMG, not just in the space, but they're farming the shower orbs too.
Yeah, for sure. Those orbs are so important. We normally see SMG fighting for double extremities in most of these maps that they're playing. But again, they're only kind of setting up for that showers and trusting their double Sentis to hold down the site, the Chamber and the Viper on B. Still kind of SMG style, but I understand that, like with these Sheriffs, that they're only trying to take those fights in certain areas.
Right, right. And so with that, a bit of a step back. See if SMG, they want to flood through Telly and take this fight, if they want to quickly flood via the flank, or how they want to do this. They are sending 2 on the flank, leaving 1 player on site. Kahibi is able to get 1. 2 Sheriffs left for the defense. And they're dealing with the flank Rami is, or at least attempting to. Shirazi is going to fall on the site. The few resources that they had are crumbling all around them. Crew should get this second round.
Spike planted.
Yep, the drawback of Chamber on defense is not being able to hold a sight on and execute unless you're just going for frag. And as we can see, Crew already spotted that out and took that advantage of those in these last 2 rounds. I wonder if they're going to switch things up and try to get an operator online for SMG. But again, they don't have that much money. They're not going to be able to do it just yet, but they're one off the tour de force for Chamber.
And I wonder, with some of the success that they've had in getting Showers control and getting that orb, I wonder if we're going to see something early to get that over to her, but it doesn't look like it's going to be the case. Instead, opting to take an aggressive line towards a short. Never mind. I've lied to you. I've lied to you, good people. I've been trolled. I've been baited. That does seem to be the play. They're sending 3 towards Showers to get that. Meanwhile, Crew playing very pacey towards B.
Go get him.
Naturally, it was an Airy who got the orb. Either way, no tour de force online yet. Crew have done a really good job of getting up until this point in the map, right? They take long, they grab the orb, and then they freeze here. This time, what do they choose to do? They've got the dog pushing forward, the showstopper, and the prowler. Everything let out the kennel. Michaela pushing forward, just looking, guessing, trying to see if she can land a shot with the showstopper. Not gonna flash on the other side. What on earth was that? Oh, I'd pay to see that again. The orbital strike, but it's not really going to matter. They're able to heal up, they're able to take the space, and now they're going to fill in on the vacancy that's been left.
Yeah, this is going to be a fast flood off those 2 kills. Really great round. Cohibit commute. Standing her ground, and this flood off the
2 shots of the tour de force have been used. Neither of them have landed. Make that a 3rd. We'll try to keep tabs on that. All this build-up for that ult. We didn't even get a kill. That's crazy.
Hey, we got ulted by that earlier.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And now they're grouping up towards long, and this is exactly what I was talking about. I mean, we have this guy spotting in hookah.
All the way through? Oh my gosh, they're going to go all the way through. The smoke dissipates. Kahibi right on their heels, puts one in between the eyes on Arami, tries to get onto the second, cannot. And it's Alexi, who was the hero in hookah, somehow through all of that, got a hell of the play! The Red Bull clutch for Alexi!
That was a crazy round. I mean, Crew, they knew there was only one in hookah, but still sped up way too fast. Kalita, if she just waited a couple more seconds for her team to get out on site and help her, it would have been perfect. But either way, Alexi, the true hero, the true star of this round, even after that hookah kill, instantly rotating towards A and just being so ahead of what the other team is doing. I think this is a round that might potentially get SMG into the heads of Crew, because that is a hard one to lose.
Oh, for sure. You could tell they had such little idea of what was going on. They were running through pipes, knives out.
Yeah.
Right? Just genuinely no idea of where they could have been. You see the op invested for the defense. Hello, the judges arrived. Shirazi is down. Bit of spam into the smoke, see if we can find another one for free. Keep an eye on this flank though. And Aries so far advanced right now with the showstopper. So Crew don't really have the luxury or the benefit of playing off. They kind of have to try to play on site here and see if they can maintain this aggression, this onslaught that's coming from the defensive side. But Shies is going to give a lot of that space up short. And this should be really free for an Airy. Look at how far up she's crept. The orbital strike is going to funnel him out of lamps. They're just going to hold on to this. Kamiyu's got, oh, Kamiyu just narrowly missing getting it to half. Alexi is going to get one. Aneri and Alexi still alive. Rami dancing around. Aneri's going to fall too.
What a wild round. I mean, that was so back and forth. Kamiyu just peeking and getting kills of her own, not even scared, not even waiting for teammates util, but played so well by Crew, just sitting in that smoke, being patient, waiting for the tap, and then after that, just absolutely playing amazingly. And of course, this judge, you guys know me and the judge, I love this. Romy so patient. The crossfire between the Fade and the Viper to end the round so beautifully. That was great. And I love to see this talk. Oh my God, Shies is fired up.
Pop off, sis.
A trap in hookah, 3 towards hookah. This is so much information for Crew right away. They know that there's 3. They heard the sky flash. Chamber, they used the TP, and Kamiyu trying to get one of her own, pushing up into showers, but Shies is just holding that from way, way back.
A little bit of concern from Crew on where they choose to go. Great response out from Kalita. Kahibi maybe getting a little too cheeky. They do have Rami's pit, so if they can get forward, if they can get out onto the site, they invest the pit, and then we're gonna get a little bit more of the chaos that we saw in the previous round. But that did seem to be something that worked out. It was a strength, if you will, of Crew's. This almost feels like deja vu. Shirazi ahead of it, landing it, and that's a spike! She gets a second! I mean, they might still be able to stabilize this. They're gonna get the pin down from Rami. They're gonna flip the map, actually. So there goes that pit. They have been able to upgrade some weapons. Kamiyu has, Aneri is not, but she does still have that showstopper. One satchel to work with and a nade. Michaela weak, Rami not. And they're splitting. They're dividing the resources. One's gone into elbow, and Rami's playing so far back, maybe for a spit if there's a lineup for it, but it's just one. Is that really how you want to play this out? That nade went towards Octagon. That's going to connect.
One enemy remaining.
And there's really nothing she can do. Rami's got to be really fast on this. Kamiyu's got half, and she's going to get both. The Red Bull clutch for Crew.
My gosh. What a round, Crew. That was looking kind of scary. I mean, SMG with those sheriffs getting 3 kills. Those were so, so clean. But Crew, the really fast reactions. The Viper ult, that was kind of crazy, but I love the reactions going back towards B. Romy splitting up with her teammate. That's always a little bit scary. But when you get the timing right, that's exactly what happens. You end up with that Red Bull clutch from Romy. That was absolutely wonderful. And now they are starting the round with that orbital strike on Brim.
Another cheeky pop-off too. You saw it on the screens. Crew feeling it with the lead. And much like you said a couple of rounds ago, it feels like Lotus is just, I mean, it's a distant memory at this point for the gals and Crew. They seem much more comfortable. They seem much more stable. As, of course, as I say that, Alexi, that's okay. Is she gonna get out?
Yeah.
Just barely. 16 HP. And the spike is down long.
Yeah, that was such a good long control. They had so much util. I mean, it's really interesting that they're splitting up initiators in order to take so much space. They're setting up the Raze and they're setting up the Sky, but it just wasn't enough util because they had a trap set up towards long, which is something you should have expected at this point from Crew, because they've been taking long almost every single round, and the one time they took showers, they ended up going back towards that B site.
It does seem like through all of that, they are going to be able to still maintain control of the spike. There was concern for a moment, but Kinnear scoops it back up, still has one smoke to play with. Don't really have any of Rami's controller utility they can work with, the orb or the wall or anything like that. So it's just this one smoke. If they pop on this, that's all they have. They're contacting. Really no other option. The smokes are just a half a second late from Kamiyu. She's going to fall. And with 10 seconds, they've got full site control. The thing they don't have is Octagon here. This can be very pacey out from SMG, should they choose to pounce. Alexi Weak, the first spot, had taken a quick bite out of Kinnear. The jump out of the window. How my goodness, she was still stunned. Rami's getting a second. This is going to be another vintage numbers deficit situation that they're somehow going to pull out of a hat. Kaibi getting onto the first, starting to try to crunch on elbow. That's exactly what they do. Shirazi gets two and SMG get the round.
Oh my god. Both teams just flipping this round constantly in their favor. I mean, again, taking back that long control and just walking up and contacting in. Such a good play from Crew. They knew that the other team had no information. They didn't have that long control. They gave it up. They're either playing retake or pushed up somewhere else. And then we had the two players in that hookah. The fast flood, the fast retake could have been so good. But instead, it went so back and forth. I mean, thank God for these players in spawn, and thank God for the good timing of flanking that elbow and getting the kill onto Michaela, because that was super important. If they didn't get that elbow kill, that was going to be a really rough retake for them.
I mean, low-key, I don't think they're winning the round.
Yeah.
Right? If they don't get that kill, you're absolutely right. And that's the fun thing about when we see at the biggest stage of the year, it is something that's small, right? That can dictate the success or the failure of a round, the ability to, at the right time, in the right moment, pouncing at the one kill that really just alleviates everything when it comes to a situation like that. It's a lot of fun. SMG on a quick timeout here.
Yeah, I mean, for both these teams, it's looking really back and forth. I think Crew getting 4 rounds on attack, this is their map pick, right? So I'm expecting them to be more explosive and try to get at least 5, 6, or 7 rounds. I know that's kind of the name of the game, but especially when it's your map pick, you need to be 100% certain on your defense that you're ready. And again, SMG, they have that chamber. They have that ability to bait out your util on that defense side. So they should be a lot more explosive, or at least be able to be a lot more explosive with this double initiator comp.
Yeah, sure. Has not been their approach up until this point. We'll see if that changes in this round. Tied at 4 apiece. You've got the showstopper for Michaela and a judge in hand, so keep a close eye on that. She's shown proficiency with the weapon on more than one occasion. Quick flash, up close and personal, not finding anything. Michaela has gotten up to the box. The Haunt not spotting anything as the smokes go down. There's the satchel, there's the ult. The dog paving the way, and Michaela, no way. That was not the intended path, but it worked out. The flashback site, this is such a miserable spot to be in, but Shirazi finding some comfort, finding some room to breathe. With the pit in hand, they're going to try to fight back and take elbow. Or excuse me, lamps, and it is going to work. Shies falls, the judge finding value, and how much more will it find as they have to push her. Surely they have to push her. The thing is, they know it's there.
I mean, the spike isn't even planted. They're just delaying for so long. Crew, you need to do something in that point. I mean, the first kill was so beautiful. The flash of the smoke, I mean, that would have been perfect if as a team they decided to take the space. But instead, they took so long to get that spike down. They took so long to get into any positions. They gave so much time for SMG to come back. I mean, look at this. Beautiful kill, but just letting a Neri get these kills, that is not what you want at all. You're setting up for crossfires before you even have the spike down. Like, that was just so hard for Crew. They put themselves in a rough position that round.
Absolutely, and honestly, the rough position of that previous round has bled into this. You see the buy for them isn't great. It's just a Spectre for Michaela. You see the waterfall effects of what has taken place. They're still in this, though. They're just down 1 round. And this does not look like it's going to be a fast one.
Yep, just walking up into these places. I think contacting is a good call from Crew on this round, especially with these weapons that they have. I mean, trying to get those picks, trying not to set off a trap that potentially SMG has had, because they've been really, really good with these traps towards dawn and towards showers. So seeing how it's playing out, they're going to get a little bit of info, but they do not know that the whole team is already set up in this hookah area. Romy actually getting a really good lurk in towards U-Haul.
The insertion so far up. What does that do to rotations, though? Is that enough to manipulate things really hard? No, Alexi goes exploring. Alexi finds 2. Shirazi alleviating pressure on the opposite side of the map as well. SMG, they don't take the bait. They don't quickly move off of the 1 bit of info that they've seen, and that results in a prime gaming flawless.
Yeah, I mean, again, Alexi's so quick with her reactions. Like, we hear the flash hit the people along, and instead of pushing down and trying to get any sort of fight, she just retakes Luka. She walks right in. And again, Crew not ready for the re-aggression. I mean, that kind of retaking space is so important on this map for SMG, especially without the double initiator comp. It's just Sky with info, and instead of getting info with her flash and her dog and re-clearing hookah with a dog, Alexi was just like, yeah, I'm just gonna re-clear with my body. Like, I don't care, I'm feeling confident.
That's like a hard don't try that at home type thing.
I'll try that at home.
Pit right off the bat. They've got the trip in there too. They just flashed down B long. I mean, SMG are playing this defensive side so well. She's going to get bullied off of the pit, though. There to greet, there to receive as the clip runs dry. So does her health. Kahibi playing close. The Prowler giving the position away. A spam through to try to deny the plan as she's now decayed. She's seized. Can't hear a dang thing. Somehow stays alive. And we continue to see this game of cat and mouse on the flanks. They knew that she was there. And that's actually going to force Alexi back.
Yep, Crew again setting up into these crossfires, waiting patiently before they get the spike down. They're waiting to get some sort of clear on site, but they're letting these players all walk up, but it doesn't matter because Shaq gets the kill onto Camu, and that triggers the rest of the execute for Crew.
4v2 left on the round. Kinnear's going to commit to the spike. It's just Alexi and Kahibi that remain. No ults, nothing like that. A little bit of utility. One of them just used. Unfortunately, on Kahibi as well. But off of that, they push forward. Carefully. You have a really nice setup out from Crew in this post plant. Kahibi has to venture forward. If you take care of Khalida, you're going to have to deal with the sucker punch on the other side. No way she finds that timing. It works out, though, as Shies and Khalida keep them both back. Crew still sticking around, still in this fight.
Yep, freezing the round and forcing SMG to get their info with their bodies. This is exactly what I was talking about, where if Sky is not there to get that information, the only other way is by fighting and getting the mechanical 1v1s on your opponent. And it unfortunately did not work out for that round. Camille walked up so far, and Shy's holding that lamps, holding that U-Haul with a beautiful crossfire. That was a really well-played round from Crew, freezing and ball. Do anything, and now they're gonna restart this round and re-go into it with that slow pace. They're heading towards hookah, trying to get that hookah control, but SM round all the way up short A.
Can they close this out in the last round of the half? Oh, the shoulder spotted, the shot delivered. Kinnear no longer around, is gonna have to wait to play things out.
I've got your trail.
I was wondering when they were gonna drop the Seekers. Khalida choosing to do so there. Kahibi with patience. Michaela's satcheling forward. Oh, she's just on the other side. That's a tip of the spear as well. Spike still in hand, and Ari ultimately falls. Finally, and they have a deep flash. That's a spike. You've got to be really careful here if you want to take that fight. Slowing down just enough, as it seemed like both guys just stared at each other for a second, surprised. It's like, hey, hang on, how the heck are you here? But they dropped the pit. Spike still not planted. Finally picked back up. Gonna have to navigate through all this green goo to have a shot at this. Kahibi pushing forward. That's the pit. It's going to force the plant to delay for a second longer. Alexi's going to clean that up. A 7-5 half in favor of SMG.
I mean, Crew, they were surrounded. They had players in long. They had players reflanking towards Hookah. They had players coming from spawn. That was almost an impossible round for them to win. SMG playing it so wonderfully. I was talking about how long it was taking for them to get the operator online on Kohibi, but there's exactly kind of the power that they need because they got that aggressive line. They got the aggressive, and really good help from Alexi in order to get Kohibi to fall back.
It's been an excellent first. She's going to throw it down to an interview, taking place crowd. Away.
Hi, Ginny here, and we're joined with Lori as well as Starma. So thank you so much, guys. How does it feel to be experiencing it from the crowd's perspective?
It's been really fun. Everyone's so supportive and loud, and it's like, I don't know, it's such a fun experience. Just being a fan today. This is my first time ever experiencing like a VALORANT event or any esports event, really, so it's a good experience.
Okay, a very great week of first, and I'm going to unfortunately have to ask you a little bit more of a difficult question, and that is in regards to what happened yesterday. So do you maybe want to give us a little bit of a breakdown there?
Or a loss? There's nothing like too in-depth that I can say. We played how we wanted to as a team, and we just ended up losing as a team. It was, I would say, a better showing than how we played against SMG, and I'm a little bit more proud of my performance, and I'm just happy that I had the time to experience on stage and with this amazing Brazilian crowd, and it was a great time, so I appreciate all the fans, everyone here.
Anything particular, though, that you would like to say to the crowd or the fans as well?
I love you guys. You guys are the best. I hope we can come back here one year.
All right. Well, we'll see. Thank you so much for that. Lori, you said it was very much a first experience for you here in the crowd, being on LAN. What has been the biggest takeaway?
Everyone's so nice, so supportive, and it's just so fun. Like I want to keep like interacting with the fans and just watching the games, supporting my friends, and it'll be good.
Well, thank you so much for that. We're going to be heading back over to the casters, and that was live from the crowd.
From a couple of different personalities in the community, give their perspective on what's kind of gone on for them, and then even this crowd. The energy in here has been so much fun today, Athena.
Yeah, I mean, I also love to see players still coming back to the arena, even though, I mean, unfortunately they did lose, but they're still here to support and watch, and we love that energy, and we love players that come back into it. And now the pistol round finally live. We have Frenzy on an area. We know she's a beast with this. She loves using that gun, but we're gonna have the hookah setup actually from Crew, which might combat the plays that SMG is trying to make here. They need to use some sort of Roomba or some sort of dog in order to get this space, because this is a nice crossfire waiting to happen.
Will they use anything? It's not going to be the dog. That's going up long. There's the Roomba. The nade's going to push them off. The angle, the discipline there is gorgeous. Understanding you had some pressure alleviated on one side, still the due diligence to check the other. Do they pop from here? No, they're going to take a step back. I mean, if Crew are fast on this, they might catch. No, they almost had a window to catch Camu retreating, but doesn't turn out to be the case. Wait, see if anyone's going to push up short. And that is, of course, where SMG is headed. The spike in tow, that flash. Going to get some info, but Michaela, patient, disciplined with it. And any semblance that we were talking about before is momentarily forgotten. Ultimately, though, they do have some space. With the spike, they've crept up this far. Map here, they don't commit to this. Off of the tap, they flash, they take the fight on the other side of the smoke. SMG still up on this for now. Rami so weak. Just a sliver of health remains. Kinnear not much better off, really, but they commit to this. They decide they want to lean into the numbers that they have and the positioning that they've acquired. Get the spike down, and they're going to play off this. Shirazi has, but that's all it is for now. Healing the pressure. The first falls, the second will as well. A 3K for Kamiyu and the pistol for SMG.
Wow. Crew actually playing that round so well. Just losing those 1v1s at the end. They actually walk re-cleared long, and with that information, instantly sped up to rotate towards A. They had so many players on site ready to retake, but they did not take the space that they needed to. They had such good timing too. I mean, I was just begging for this guy in the smoke to hold that flash and just pop out, and everyone flood into sight. But unfortunately, it wasn't quick enough because SMG ended up setting up really good crossfires, getting Kamiyu into a spot where she wasn't blinded by the flash, and they played that really, really well from SMG as well.
Gonna try to go fast on this one. 4 pushing quietly. Surely you've heard the satchel and the dog. Yeah, the fight's gonna ensue out in sand. The benefit for them though is, I mean, they've gotten B. I wonder, do they stay here? Do they decide to push through spawn and go towards A? They want to commit to this. They're gonna get Alexi to get the spike down. Aneri wanting to find a free one quietly, and surely she does. But we've seen a lot of judge kills this tournament.
I love judges. That is great. And now we need to see them flipping that side because they know that there were players in Hookah originally. We have Aneri playing close to the judge. Again, a really good way to get your team to peek off you, because if you get that first kill, absolutely stunning. She goes for more, but Shies is ready with the trade.
That Guardian proving to be problematic. But how much more bite is left in that? I mean, Michaela's so weak here. Unlucky. We saw that.
One enemy remaining.
That pays off in another kill, but Shies falls. Michaela's left alone. No attempt to grab the Guardian and stay alive or anything like that. Just going to die to the spike. Move on to the next round.
Yep, flipping that site. Such a good call from SMG. Crew showing their cards early. They managed to get that first blood on the round, but not much they could have done because they stuck to that hookah space. They didn't have time to regain any long control or regain that much map control towards the site, because Aneri just set up right in that corner, ready to deny anything else from happening. Re-clearing that hookah super fast. SMG again, super, super confident, and I love to see this from them.
Watch and learn.
4-round lead. Now Crew with guns to fight back. Light armor for all of the members of the defensive side. That vintage Viper wall going through the teleporter, causing some problems. You imagine there's going to be a dog too as well to confirm that there are players playing back towards showers, but actually it seems like Khalid is holding on to it for now.
Right between
and Kinnear gets a kill. They tried coming fast out of showers. Crew's already here though. I mean, they have 3 members who are playing up in pipes and heaven. They're going to have Romy, who's going to be coming in on the late flank. And honestly, Athena, the more I look at this, the more I'm concerned is as SMG continues to get into these post-plant positions, they're all tight, they're very aggressive, given that they have a Spectre, given that they have a Sheriff, that could be problematic, but Alexi falls to the nade, no less. They're gonna have to take his fight into the judge. There it is, Aneri gets a kill, but it traded right back. Have they bought enough time? Kamiyu had nothing really to do there. Crew take the site back.
Yeah, with the loss of numbers on SMG's side, it was really a question of, are they going to push and get some space and try to capitalize and regain those numbers? But instead, they decided to just sit down, which sucks because they have so much util on the Crew side for a retake. They are so ready. But then again, that was just a bonus round, and we're finally going to see the first gun round of this half. And now just in this replay, Romy with a beautiful first kill, walking up, getting the Lamps kill for that team. Just such a good retake, especially with the long flank. It was just overall really well played from Crew. They were not scared that they had those bonus guns.
Keep a close eye on the ults. It does look like Kamiyu's 1 point away from having that online. Shy's also in a similar position. And a late Viper wall going up. Bairami just dropped it towards B. But there's no real aggression out from Crew. They're gonna prowler through spot 1. And that's all it is, but Crew patient with it. Choosing not to move. That's a ton of info.
They just got so much info from that dog through the prowler through TP and the dog through long. Now they know that they're definitely going to be looking like they're taking out long. Again, they can TP at any point in time, but Michaela picking off Aneri so early, that's definitely a sign that they were trying to set up for some sort of B hit. Stuck in Octagon. This is looking so rough for SMG already. This slow playstyle really doesn't suit them in this.
No way. What was the cue? How do they know? I mean, just so persistent. Now, this actually alleviates a lot of pressure. You're able to take one off of the site. If you do commit to B, you imagine you're going to have some sort of a numbers advantage. And off of that, they pop the flash. Khalid has gone unchecked, though. Has a flash of her own. Feeling some of the pressure. Michaela playing in the smoke. Now the rotations are coming through. This has been very slow for SMG. They might be burning too much time here as they try to go take the fight back side into elbow. All members of SMG fall. That was a massive blunder.
Yeah, that was such a confusing round again. Earlier, I was talking about how with this double initiator comp, Chamber needs to be beating this util out, but instead they're letting them use the util, letting them get all the information in the world. They knew for sure it was going to be a B hit. I mean, they dogged all the way down long. They prowlered through the TP. They saw everything that was going to be happening on the SMG side, and SMG still opted to commit to that B hit. Kind of questionable. They need to be either way, way faster or way, way smarter with how they're playing the defaults on this map. I mean, you have to bait this util. It's definitely necessary because it's just like, again, they got so much info so fast that SMG couldn't even do anything about it.
Right,
I mean, the best thing they could have done is TP, and I think that's fair, but they didn't have any info on the other side of the map.
Yeah,
at all.
exactly. It's not like they were running a 4-1 where they had one person holding showers so that you know, okay, we can abort, we can, you know, call an audible and head towards A if need be. That wasn't an option. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just overall looking rough. I mean, if they are trying to do these defaults, they need to be able to have that push-pull scenario where they're pushing towards one side, pressuring, farming orbs, having someone else lurk, having someone else hold, and being able to go put pressure on different sides of the map. Because again, they're playing against 2 prowlers, a dog, 2 flashes, an eye. It's almost impossible to get around this round without pushing fast or baiting out this util, or just, it's so hard. I mean, SMG, they're looking like they're gonna switch something up after this tactical pause. They do have just a hero Vandal on Kohibi, but opting to go with sheriffs and pistols for the rest.
Is that going to be enough? No real presence at all towards short early on. Now the Prowler getting cleared out by nothing but a Classic, concealing anything else that might be back behind there. It is a Vandal and the Sheriffs that you mentioned, but it was just the Classic that was fired. Is that going to be enough to lull them into a false sense of security as they've contacted so far up? She has no idea. There's no way she knows. She got past the Prowler. They're going to Nightfall, and that's going to give everything away. Plant committed. The nade will buy time. It'll dissuade any sort of push. But if you attempt a crunch, this is really bold too. Goes through teleporter, drops the Seekers. Do they flood? Or are they just gonna wait on the other side of the dam?
My God, Khalida giving a gun up to Camille. That is not what you want. You need to be way more patient, putting that pressure. The ult, the brim ult, they need to delay for so much longer. But again, they just finally tapped the bomb. The delay, so good. But Camille actually getting picked off, even though she still had mollies and Jaime and Neri left in a 2v1. Make that a 1v1. Gunir.
70 HP. She's got to go fast. She's got to go so freaking fast. And Neri's there to greet her. SMG up to 10.
Crew just giving up so much space on the map. For what reason?
Yeah.
For what reason? They are on pistols. They were so far back, and they were not ready for that aggression again. Once SMG gets map space, they take that space, they push through backside, they get the pick. They didn't even need to get a pick. They just played it so well because they knew that they had that Brim ult. They had Brim Molly. They had Raze on site ready to delay. And as long as they delayed for so long, they knew that the round was secure. So again, really well played from SMG. I don't even think that they were planning that round in a way that they were trying to delay for that long. I think they're trying to play for picks with that contacting up.
Agreed.
Crew, again, just gave them so much space to work with.
Yeah. I mean, it was really opportunistic. I think, again, to go back to the kill that Khalida gave back in showers, allowing the upgrade of a weapon and alleviating some of that pressure, I think was massive. So they invest a pretty considerable amount in that too. You think they got the Seekers once they hit through teleporter and everything that came along with that though. So it wasn't even just that they lost the round. It was a pretty notable investment.
Yeah, it was expensive for sure. I mean, Khalida TPing with those Seekers, it looked so good until she decided to peek by herself. She knows the Seekers were going towards showers. She knew that there was at least another player ready to trade whatever frag that she was trying to go for, but she gave up a weapon, and ultimately that kind of speed and missed timing that she had just running into showers right away before making her team put a lot of pressure lost them such a huge part of map control.
On the other side of the timeout, Crew decide that they want to drop 4 of their members A.
Blinded.
And this is with guns too. This isn't like a cheeky, oh my gosh, they've guessed correctly. Aneri didn't see him or knew, but decided to fight the fight in front of her instead. Alexi's able to get past it. Michaela with the counter showstopper. And through that, I mean, ridiculous cacophony of utility at the beginning of the round, things settle into a 3v3.
Yeah, equalized for sure. I mean, that was crazy. And Neri, unfortunately, just missing Kalita. But unfortunately, Kalita didn't manage to get any of those kills. That was so weird. Such a weird round. But again, the Raze versus Raze, that ended up working perfectly. And now SMG speeding up into a B hit because they knew, they saw the 3 players towards A. And how they're going to play this is super important because they don't have any mollies. They don't have that much post-plant. All they have to work with is flashes. And I think that playing on, pushing towards elbow, that's definitely the right call because they need the space.
If they can get these kills, if they can swing at the right time, this will be secure. Hybe's there on the first. Where's the counter punch? Where's the sucker punch? There it is from Shirazi. A little bit delayed, a little labored, but it ultimately comes through. Kinnear flashed up, can't see a damn thing. SMG get to 11, Crew on potential last breath here.
That was really well played from SMG with those 3 players. They tried to hit A, they really tried it, but the Crew set up towards showers and one towards that short, countered everything. And oh, Sky actually running just through the Viper wall. That's how she got away, but the Rockets trading each other. That was so messy to watch. It was so much happening on my screen, and I'm sure everyone was confused. But again, SMG just regrouping towards that B. That was so good, and they played it so well too. They knew they couldn't play off. They just pushed. It was a little shaky because they didn't peek off the chamber, but still overall well played.
Well, Crew have done their diligence in making sure that there's nobody B. They push down Sand, they push down Long, they know that that spot is safe, and so off of that and feeling some of the pressure A, they send through to Teleporter. But oh my goodness, she was looking the wrong way. What the heck was that? They dropped the orbital strike, and SMG is already up in pipes. They're in their spawn. Shies managed to grab a weapon and get a kill for it. A 3v3, the only rifle in the hands of the Fade. Those Sheriff shots just not connecting, just not on the mark. Now Khalid is left alone. That's not going to have a difference either. SMG series point. Crew should be able to buy something here. But they're down to their very last round.
Yeah, I mean, super rough for Crew. They do have this Viper's Pit. They can definitely get a lot of map control and force SMG to push and try to use as much retail as they can because they do have limited amounts. But pushing all the way through into their spawn, that was, again, just unfortunately the wrong gamble from Crew, like you said. And now we're starting to see SMG speed up the pace on how we normally would see them play, and I think it's working out great for them. So wondering if this is the round that they decide to speed it up, or they know that the other team is going to use that Viper Pit towards some of the short, somewhere in hookah, somewhere long, somewhere to just get some sort of free map control, because this is what Crew desperately needs.
And for SMG, I mean, I want to go back to the point you were just making, because it does seem like the pace is accelerated in these last couple of rounds. Perhaps it's smelling blood in the water, right? Realizing that you've got them exactly where you want them, and it's just going to take one final punch to knock them out. Both literally and figuratively. I mean, this is an excellent position for SMG to be in.
Yeah, for sure. They're definitely, they swung the momentum their way, and this is why I was talking about Crew earlier, how this is their map pick, but they definitely needed more rounds on that attack to kind of get the momentum in their way. And now this defense not looking too hot, because the 2 initiators, yes, they're great at info, yes, they're great at holding, at delaying, but at the same time, they don't have that senti to just be a nuisance on the defense side. So now we do see SMG grouping up towards that long B. We have the Viper as well towards hookah, not even planning to insert themselves into any sort of lurking position, just holding. But Crew is all in hookah, Doug.
I do like how they're doing this. I really like this defensive setup. I like how Rami's playing to be able to impact both sides of the map with her pit and then the wall. The problem is there's no one there to keep that wall in check. So they've gotten past the wall, they've gotten out onto the site, and they realize, yeah, there's a little bit that you're going to have to alleviate in hookah. But SMG just disrespect the setup entirely.
Seek them out. My ult's ready.
My gosh, I mean, crunching towards that hookah. They don't even need the hookah space. They know they don't need this. They're just playing for themselves, holding that long because it's such an important space to play from with the Brim Molly. But they're finally getting countered. Michaela with the instant kill on Camille. Camille needed to stay alive with her Molly there.
And Alexi's now trying to do a bit of the same. You'd see a quick step back, but you're set up into a one and done. Just you're gonna get checked. Khalida does get one. An Airy playing backside, Michaela pushing forward. It's just those two, unaware of where the other member was, but it all falls onto an Airy. Can she land the shot onto Michaela? Yes, she can. SMG survive.
What an explosive way to end that game. I mean, a Neri clutching it out. That was so well played by SMG. Super back and forth. All of these rounds were somewhat close, actually, because they were so back and forth. Each round getting trades and trades and trades. That just shows how good the teamwork on both of these teams are. But again, after an amazing dominant performance in that first map, SMG ending on top. This is kind of what I was predicting, and this is why I made them my dark horse.
I mean, yeah, you invested at the right time when the stocks were low, and they're freaking going to the moon.
I'm rich
right now. Yeah, you're making a killing off of this. It's been so much fun to watch this SMG squad continue to develop and to show. I think a lot of different sides, a lot of different facets to their gameplay and their approach. You know, they've shown, I think it was an Airy that we saw at the very beginning. She was like showing to the camera she was just going to hold W. Yeah. We saw that.
We did see
saw
that.
some of that. We also saw the very calculated, very technical, very methodical approach to the macro game. SMG, I mean, they're the real deal.
I think the biggest thing that SMG brings to this table is how fast their reactions and protocols are. Yeah. Like, as soon as they know that something's happening, if they don't have numbers advantage, if they think they're getting flanked, if they they have an answer for everything. Right. And Kohabi is just so fast to call these as well. We talked about hive mind mentality, and I'm going to keep bringing that up every time I talk about SMG because they're so collected and together in these decisions. I mean, it is something that is like an IGL dream. That you just like pause something and everyone knows what to do.
Right,
like,
and it happens on the fly.
Right away.
And that takes a lot of trust. And well, we have to, I mean, we've got to remind you good people at home, when you're like, what is it, 35-0?
Yeah.
Domestically, and you come onto the international stage, you win your first series, that deserves you, right? That earns you a little bit of trust. And they continue to lean into it. Yeah, they took a loss. That's how they find themselves in the lower bracket, but this SMG squad does not seem to be taking a step back on that whatsoever, and we have to say goodbye to Crew. You see a final bow before the fans here in the studio, but SMG with plenty to smile about.
Yeah, I mean, taking that loss, they took it like champs because obviously they learned from the mistakes. They learned how to keep their mentality up, and they showed us that they're not out of it just because they ruined the streak. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there are a lot of teams who crumble behind that. We're going to throw it down to Yinsu and the rest of the desk to break down that series. It was a good one.
Yeah, it was a good one indeed, Doug and Athena. Yes, unfortunately, we had to say goodbye to Crew.
Thank you.
They fell to some of the crazy plays of SMG. I've got one to show you guys right here in the Verizon high-speed moment. There's a few we could have picked for this, but Baby Bay, this round was a really, really crazy round, and the timing of them winning this as well.
Yeah, the eco round against the team that has the best eco rounds in the tournament, and the 1v1 that it came down to with the insane headshot from Eneru was just absolutely crazy. Look at this. Eneri, sorry. And she was just on point. And like the casters were saying, she was running it down the whole time. A little bit too much, though. I'm not going to lie. She's getting punished a little bit. But nevertheless, there was signs of life early on in that game from Crew. And I did like the way they were playing, especially their post plans.
Yeah, it was really neck and neck. Obviously, like, Crew should walk away still feeling good about that series. I think there's a lot of good performances from the team, especially Shy's had a really pop-off moment there. We saw her doing some trash talk. So, you know, despite the loss here, obviously they're going to walk away with still having that first international win.
Yeah, it is an improvement, and who knows, Safa, next year they come back, they get another. That's how you do it, right? You gotta learn something from every time you come to these tournaments.
Yeah, of course. And, you know, you're looking at LATAM as a whole, and they continue to dominate that region. And so, like, right now, I'd say that, you know, there's still a lock as you look ahead for the future, and they're going to take this experience and learn from it.
The thing is, though, SMG, they live to see another day, and they are looking scary in that lower bracket. It's time